What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. So this past weekend I got an invite to go run with some guys at a trail that I've never been to before in Ogden, and it was a blast. Everybody had their hard body, so I was the outsider that brought my element trail runner. My hard body wasn't finished at the time, so that just gave me the motivation to really get that finished. You know what, with the element trail runner, it's an IFS rig. It does really great, especially with the upgrades I did to it. It's got class ones from BFG. I'm sorry, Pro line, the BFGs. Trail wheels. I've got some SSD brass knuckles up front, and I got the Spectrum 2-in-1 2300 kV in there, and it does phenomenal. I'm blown away by the amount of flex this thing has for an IFS rig. You know, it did awesome. I was really impressed with it. So, and I have a ton of footage to go through. So I'm not sure how I'm going to mash it all together, but I hope you guys enjoy the footage, and I will see you on the next one. So I'm just going to throw in a little voiceover here and there. This trail was a blast. You know, going into this, I wasn't sure what to expect. I was thinking it was just going to be some rock piles here and there at a park or somewhere, you know, out in the woods. But so basically, this is just a hiking trail that everyone goes and does these crawls on. So this is a mountain bike trail as well. So there was people coming in and out with their mountain bikes. So we would just have to move off to the side here and there and let them through. But most of the people were actually more interested in what we were doing versus the trail. But the views were absolutely amazing. So I've never done a trail where I had to walk and film at the same time. So it took me a little bit, and sometimes I feel like I was going to go over the edge here and there just to miss my footing. But you can see the starting off pretty good with the element. I was actually the first one, of course, to break down on the trail. I had a screw come out of my drive shaft, and so I was only in front wheel drive there for a bit. But you know, everyone was super helpful. You know, before I could even get my tools out, other guys came up, got their tools out right away, and helped with the repair. And that was, you know, that's awesome to have a group of people like that that's always willing to show you the ropes and willing to help you whenever you need help. Got a little hung up here on the sidebars there, but was able to maneuver and get around it and get up and over the obstacle. You can see, you know, this is for this group is basically just a 419 tire size and smaller. So obviously, if you know a bigger tire, you get to go over that fairly easy. But you know, I love the challenge of these smaller tires. You know, you got definitely have to pick your lines and you know, and I'm excited to do that with the hard body because you're not going to get the flex articulation with a hard body like you do some of these other rigs like this IFS or a lot of my linked rigs. You can see here getting a little hung up on the front IFS, the suspension there, but I was able to wiggle it out and get up and over. First rollover of the day. First of many for me. Alright, first little somewhat technical little downhill here and got hung up a little bit, but was able to hit the throttle and get it out. You can kind of see a glimpse of the hard bodies up there. Some of those were some sick rigs. I was blown away. I love that color on the tan, and then that blue with camper top on the back for overlanding was absolutely insane. That was some of the coolest rigs I've seen in person. Was running with. And this one coming down here, this was actually one of the, I believe it's only linked rig besides mine. Mine's linked in the rear, obviously, but you can get a shot of his link set up here in a second. There it is. Flip it on its side there, but he was able to hit the gas and power through it and flip it back over. And here comes the mom grocery getter rig is what I call it, coming down the mountain. I know. You can tell with that Spectrum 2-in-1, you know, that slow crawl is awesome. You can see some of the flex there. I could be out here all day doing this. You know, I was gonna run spacers, the Trail hex extenders. So I like the look of where the tires, like these trucks here, where they stick out of the side just a bit. I love that look, but if I did that to this rig, I would have to cut the body, but the way this flexes now, you know, it tucks the tires so good into the fenders, you know, I would definitely somewhat ruin that, so I'll be just gonna leave it how it sits and just call it good. Maybe add a winch, but you can see this Toyota getting hung up there, but look at that paint job on that thing. That thing is so cool. It was definitely, it started off somewhat slick on the way up the mountain, but some of the spots that we hit that weren't quite melted yet, man, on the way down, they turned into mud. It was definitely way muddy on the way down. You can see I got some sand on my tires, a little bit of mud, but was able to power through and clear them off a bit to get up and over that obstacle. You know, I'm still rocking the stock ESC on this rig. And a lot of my rigs, I need to replace the ESC right away because it fries. But, you know, with this rig, it's just, I'm blown away by the stock ESC that's on here from Element. Not saying won't have to do it in the future, but, you know, with these 419s, it works perfectly, especially when you're in somewhat of a pinch. You know, it handles really well.
Fucking send it. Nice. I mean,
here's a good example on this little obstacle where you really need to pick your line with these smaller tires to get it through there, and I feel like I did pretty good on this little one. Love that paint job on that Toyota behind me. That thing is so awesome. Here's this one. This climb was somewhat technical, and this is where I was talking, filming, and trying to crawl at the same time, and got a little tough on me, but was able to power through. I gotta tell you, every single one of these guys, I think there was 8 or 9 of us total out here, I believe. I'll have to count the trucks in one of the pictures, but everyone was awesome to crawl with and just to talk to while you're going down the trail. If you have a chance to do one of these here in Utah, I would definitely recommend going to one of these.
Ryan just sent me a message on Instagram. It was like, hey, we're gonna go to this nature area or whatever, Ogden Nature Trail or whatever. So I was like, all right. So I didn't know if it was like a rock garden that we're messing around in or what.